the record button right away, and we are live. Here we go. Carl, the stage is yours. What's now and next?
Huh.
I heard
All
something about it.
right. Appreciate that quick introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, maybe good evening, depending on where you're dialing in from. So I think hopefully everyone knows me, Carl Gersh. I am the SVP of Marketing here at IGEL. And what I want to talk to you today was about the Now Next show that we've got coming up at the end of March. We talked last year. I give updates frequently. One of the things I think I've talked about with every time, all through 2024 and into 2025 is our focus on evolving this event to deliver greater value, to take the feedback we receive around what people like about it and do more of that. And if there's things that people aren't as big a fan of, we'll do less of that. To create truly, I want to say like a show that is a can't miss show. So for today, what I would like to do is I was going to, walk everyone through kind of the overview of the event itself, what we've got planned. It's a small group here, and we all know each other. It's community, right? So if you have questions, you can feel free to come off mute and ask. Or if you are a little bit on the shy side, hopefully no one here's that shy, but if you're a little shy, you want to put it into
I'm
chat,
shy.
you can do that. Berman, you are definitely, that is a word I would use to describe you, is demure would also come to mind. But you can feel free to throw a question into chat. Truly, I'm here just to do a good job, hopefully, of describing all the things we've done. Because the truth is that Now and Next in 2025 is not the same show that we did in 2024, right? We have evolved the show. I'm going to talk about some of the key differences. Overall, our aim is to deliver, the event of the year, right? And you'll see right on this slide, we talk about 4 days of technology innovation and forward-thinking strategies, right? So right out of the gate, we've added a day to the event. So if there was overall, the feedback last year was very, very positive. If there's one comment that we got back that was constructive criticism, truly constructive criticism, it was that there was so much good stuff I couldn't see it all. I couldn't get to every one of the breakouts I wanted to get to. So we took that to heart and we said, all right, maybe what we should do is we should extend the event a day. And what that allows us to do is to give us a little bit more breathing room, to add more breakouts, to add more content, and to give our guests, the ability, our participants, the ability to get to all the content that we've got. We've got a lineup of phenomenal sponsors, and we're really doubling down. And we think about that, that first, and there's a lot to take in on this slide, but there's last year we had around 36 breakout sessions, give or take. This year we have over 70 breakout sessions, right? So we double the number of breakout sessions that we have in capacity, so that we can repeat some popular breakout tracks, so that we can do some breakouts that are a little bit more specialized, so that we can take some of that space and assign it for either technical deep dive or at the other end of the spectrum, high level strategic content. Right. So last year we went into it, we weren't sure exactly, what the response would be, but what we saw was people said more breakouts, and we came back with more breakouts, by 100% more breakouts. We also, from a keynote perspective, we're going to have, guest speakers up on the keynote. If you've attended the Disrupt events in the past and you attended last year's event, you'll see that we did make a very big pivot from a content perspective to focus on all the announcements and the advancements that we're making within the IGEL product line. We've also pushed our sponsors to talk about, the advances and the things they're doing with their products. Hence the name IGEL Now and Next. So you can expect that again this year. There's going to be a whole lineup of big announcements around things that we're doing with IGEL, with our operating system, and with the tools we've wrapped around that. And you're going to hear a lot from our sponsors, including, and I'll say this a few times probably throughout today's meeting, but it's also not the same set of sponsors. So if you've been tracking what's going on with IGEL, and as members of our community, esteemed members of our community, I suspect you have, you'll see that we signed up over 23 new IGEL ready partners in the last 6 months. And a lot of those are in the cybersecurity space. So companies like Cato Networks, Zscaler, Palo Alto. And it really underlies sort of the shift in our strategy, where we're not just about attachment to VDI and cloud workspaces, but it is really all about endpoint security, right? It's about how do we take concepts like zero trust and apply those into enterprise. Um, so we will have, we do have an analyst guest speaker. So we'll have Marissa Schmidt from Gartner. Marissa is an expert in SASE.
There? No, it might be because.
Oh, there goes Randall. Troubleshooting as always, Mr. Cruz. We're gonna have, an analyst from Gartner speaking about SASE, speaking about secure edge. So there's still gonna be a lot of content around EUC. That is the space in which we're in, but certainly endpoint security, the security element, I feel like is almost it's very tied, right? You can't really talk about end user computing without having consideration for endpoint security. It is the biggest single vulnerability in an organization, right? That end user fabric, all those end users out there. Because I think it was Kevin Mitnick said this, you can patch systems, but you can't patch people, right? There is no patch for human fallibility. So, when we talk about security of an organization, the endpoint is something you have to be considering very, very seriously. And this conference is going to talk about that a lot. And we have experts talking about those strategies. Okay, so I'll say this now, say it later on. Register now. We do have a room block at the Fontainebleau. We negotiated a very, very positive rate of $379 a night. That is down from like roughly a little over $500 a night. If the Fontainebleau is beyond your price range, we also have a room block set up right next door at the Holiday Inn Miami Beach. It is a beachfront Holiday Inn, so it is a very, very nice hotel as well, and is walking distance to the Fontainebleau. And the price point there is under 300. I think it's 220 a night, plus resort fees and whatever else. But that can fit, I think, within anyone's budget. So you can go to the website, you can register, secure your room, secure your spot, and I encourage you to do so. So we are seeing very good uptick. We announced this event much earlier than we usually do. So again, longtime IGEL community members know frequently it's not until the start of the year that we announce the Disrupt event, but we announced this back in September. So we've seen a really good response to that, people registering throughout the end of last year into this year. So, but there's still plenty of space. We expect it. We want it to be a bigger show. So we secured more rooms, but don't dilly-dally. Definitely secure a spot now. And I'll give you a code at the end of this presentation that you can use to get a discounted rate on your ticket. So, so let's talk about the content a little bit. So from a keynote standpoint, and full disclosure, there'll be more keynote speakers than what you see on this slide. Obviously, we'll have our executives presenting, but we are also going to have Mark Templeton present. Mark's going to fly all the way over. He has actually a meeting in California, but this was important enough. He's going to be flying over, and he'll be presenting and talking about his perspectives. We have Scott Manchester from Microsoft presenting and talking about the future of Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop. As I mentioned, Marissa Schmidt, the Senior Director and Analyst at Gartner. We have Aaron Meary from Baptist Health, and many more. There's going to be more customers speaking at Now and Next than we've ever had. So I'll talk about, we have two specialist tracks, and in those specialist tracks, we're going to have customers get up and present. If you're interested in the agenda, the full agenda is online now. You can go to the website. You can go to igel.com/nownext and click on over to the landing page where we have the agenda up. I will make this one caveat. We are continuing to add sessions as sponsors come on board, as we get content from our presenters. If you've ever worked on any kind of event before, you know that there's one of the things behind the scenes, behind the curtain, as it were, is collecting those abstracts from the presenters, find out what they want to present on, things like that. But what we decided to do is, because people are really keen to understand all this content we're presenting, we've gone live with our version 1 of the agenda, and it's going to continue to grow as we move through the next couple of weeks. But we've got quite a few sessions listed up there, so you can get an idea on some of the content that we're going to be presenting. As I said, it's a 4-day event. So here's the rough flow of the event. And there's a few pro tips I'll give you as how you can engage and get the most out of it. For the full experience, we're asking people to arrive by noon on Monday. If you want to fly in on Sunday, we do have the room block. It's extended from Sunday on. If you're local-ish, or the eastern seaboard of the United States and you want to grab a morning flight, you can. But, I'd encourage everyone to arrive by noon because we do kick off our boot camps at 1 p.m. In the hotel. We'll have boot camps from IGEL, we'll have boot camps from NISA, and several boot camps probably from Microsoft and several others. We're going to have some advanced access, so popular breakouts. I've reserved 5 spots to present the most popular breakouts. We'll see as people are registering for the breakouts, which ones emerge as the most popular, and that's when I'll pop them into that opening slot. But there'll be breakouts there, and then we're going to have a welcome reception Monday evening at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the expo hall, so you get a chance to meet the exhibitors, grab a bite to eat, and just enjoy the overall ambiance of the Fontainebleau. Tuesday morning, start bright and early, 8:30 a.m. We'll have breakfast. Then we'll have the opening keynote. If you attended last year, you see that our format for this event is that keynote on the first day is what we call the now. And that keynote will focus on all the ways in which IGEL, our partners and our customers are deploying technology today to address some of the most pressing needs of the business. On day 2, we talk about the next, which I'll hit on the next slide. We'll have lunch, and then we have breakout sessions throughout the afternoon. We'll have a little cocktail in the expo area in the evening. And then Tuesday night, we will have private events. So last year, because we really only had the one night, because it's a 3-day event, the 2 nights of a 3-day conference, this year there'll be a bunch of private events on Tuesday night. So, a chance to either get together with friends. I'm certain community will probably be doing something, not to put Sebastian and Renee on the spot. Some of our partners will be hosting private events. There'll be dinners, or if you just want to get out and check out Miami Beach. I mean, it's March, it's Miami Beach. It is Music Week in Miami, so there'll be some fun things going on around. So Tuesday night's a chance to unwind however you prefer. Then Wednesday, start out again a little bit later. One of the other things we learned was that do not start your second day keynote quite as early because people need a little bit of time to get up, stretch, get a cup of coffee. So we'll be kicking off our keynote on day 2 at 10 a.m. And that's when we present the next. And this will be very forward-looking. We'll talk about announcements, things on the roadmap that you'll be seeing in the next 6 to 8 months from IGEL. I've got a sneak peek at that. There's some really cool stuff that we'll be talking about. One of the things that Klaus Osterman has really challenged the IGEL team, Matthias Haas and the IGEL team do is think about all the ways in which we can extend our operating system to provide greater value, to look into new use cases and the such. And the next is the keynote where you're going to get a chance to participate and hear about those advances. We'll then break for lunch, and then Tuesday we have several breakout session periods, and then we wrap on the evening reception party, which I'm really excited about, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And that'll be evening. We say 11 p.m. I suspect that'll go later, but Wednesday night it'll be a pretty epic party. Thursday is our bonus day in a sense, and we're going to open up with breakfast. We're going to have some breakout sessions. We're looking at doing some very technical deep dives. So taking advantage, as I said, we have a little bit more time, a little bit more room with this schedule, so we can do deep dive content. So things like app packaging. So if you have an application that is a homegrown application that your organization is using and you want to package it for IGEL OS, we'll have a deep dive session on doing that. We'll have deep dive sessions on UMS, several workshops and the like. We're looking at some roundtables specific for government, for healthcare, potentially for community. We're giving ourselves a little room. We have another thing in there. We're going to have an MSP council. So if you are part of the community, work for an MSP, there's going to be an MSP overlay, which we'll be announcing. We've announced quietly, but we'll be making big noise about in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have a partner council and close things out in the afternoon. So Thursday is a full day. It is a day of, I won't say bonus content, but in a sense, some bonus content. But if you really want to get in there and get hands-on and get into a workshop and things like that, Thursday is the day to do it. And I'd say there's a pro tip. If you're unable to attend, all 4 days, my recommendation is definitely get in on Monday, be here for Tuesday and Wednesday. Then you could depart Thursday. But again, there's going to be, if you really want to get your hands dirty, and you want to get into it, Thursday is the day to do that. So there's a way to turn this into a 3-day conference versus a 4-day conference if your time is constrained. But I'd love to see everyone there really through the week. It's going to be, I think, a very, very strong conference. We've got a ton of support from our sponsors. There's going to be a lot of really great content. So, you know, if you're going to come out, I'd say maximize the benefit of being there. And I mentioned there's healthcare tracks. There are specialized tracks, healthcare and critical infrastructure, the two. We started this last year with some content, you know, dedicated content. But this year we're going to get much deeper in that. We're bringing in some external speakers to help lead some of these breakouts. But you can see within healthcare, you know, we've got about 6 breakouts identified already. Some deep dives on use cases, looking at the strategic roadmap specific for healthcare. Talking about Imprivata, always a very popular topic. Talking about managed hypervisor. I'm not going to say too much about that. That's a little bit of a sneak peek. It's one of the things we're going to get into. Looking at business continuity. I don't know if you work in healthcare, you may be aware there's some amendments, some additions to HIPAA regulations, which I think potentially have going to put some strain on some IT organizations to rethink how they're approaching business continuity. We'll talk about the dual boot option that we rolled out in our rapid recovery stick, and we'll be looking at advanced device redirection from IGEL and with IGEL and ABD, and probably some more. Right, these are the ones we've identified now that'll be there. But if you work within healthcare IT, you can come out here and really, you know, get deep into all the content we're going to present on that topic. New for 2025 will be an increased focus. We're calling critical infrastructure. I don't want to call it public sector because it's really beyond that. It's truly for organizations that are looking at zero trust and IoT and that sort of thing. Certainly government, that applies to government, but I think it also applies to financial services. It can apply to healthcare. It can apply to any organization where security is tantamount to the business. So we'll talk about how IGEL fits into an overall zero trust model. We'll be looking at business continuity, rapid recovery as part of zero trust. We'll be looking at, you know, what's next in critical infrastructure and lessons learned from real world deployments. And John Walsh, our new CTO, focused on critical infrastructure. He's bringing in a whole set of speakers that we've never had before at one of our events. So these are people coming from you know, the U.S. PubSec, so government, as well as, you know, private contractors, but really an excellent lineup. You know, going into John's Rolodex, as it were, of guest speakers. So, you know, if you're interested in zero trust, if your organization's considering using zero trust, or, you know, maybe not all of it, not all 7 principles, but you want to take, you know, glean some best practices as to how you can better secure your environment by taking some principles in zero trust, this content is going to be really valuable. And the other thing, and Mike's on here, so we want to make, you know, we've talked about IGEL Academy has always been a critical component of Now Next. We are going to be set up, and we're moving, you know, the academy kind of front and center. So if you want to come in and get trained, get certified, you can do so. We're going to offer some incentives. We'll have a swag store on location at Now Next. But if you are, you know, if perhaps, and I hope it hasn't happened, but if perhaps your certification is lagged, or you're looking at that next certification, right? You're looking to get your ICE or whatever else, coming out to Now Next is going to be a great way to do that, right? So in addition to all the content you're going to see, all the sponsors with whom you're going to interact, you can come and attend, you know, our boot camps on ICP, and then go to the certification center and do everything from, you know, the foundations class to UMS as a service, and the like. And for our premier customers, we're going to have ICE certification on site, so that if you want to walk away with a fancy certificate and a little gift from us to use at the swag store, you'll get a chance to do that. So again, adding additional value.
Carl, can I interject just for a second?
Absolutely.
So right now the team is working on some brand new courses. Specifically, we're going to have some pro packs on the app creator portal and also Linux deployment. I think on the last community call that the education team was on, those 2 things were hot topics. So I'm working on those right now. I just got back from Fort Lauderdale about a week ago, where we did some collaboration on the UMS as a service. So it's essentially a kind of like a stripped down version of the ICP, but we're calling it the IGEL Certified Cloud Professional. So that'll be a new certification that we can that you'll be able to get. All of this stuff is going to be brand new. It's going to be launched at the event, and also the new ICE pack on reverse proxy. So that's another hot topic that we're hearing from the market, and we wanted to make sure that we can get those things out. So UMS as a service, app creator portal, and Linux deployment and reverse proxy are all going to be brand new courses that we are launching at the event. So we're really looking forward to being able to offer those things.
Hey, Mike,
And if you have any questions, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, are there previews of this for the SEs right now that we can look at?
The courses themselves, no.
Okay.
There aren't. Are you saying like in terms of like vetting and feedback, or just like for like promo?
Just getting ahead of it and be able to go through it before we actually go out to the show.
So if you send me a message, I can get you in contact with who the subject matter experts are on each of these things that I'm working with, and I'm happy to kind of connect you with that if that's what you want.
All right. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Carl.
No, thanks, Mike. I mean, you heard it there. So if you want to be first, and who doesn't like to be first? Come out to Now Next. You can get these certifications, come back to your organization, add additional value. I mean that's probably that's worth the price of admission anyway. I don't think I've got to convince anyone to come to Miami Beach in March, but in terms of the content, again, you're going to come out, you're going to walk in an esteemed professional already, I'm certain, but you're going to exit Uber. Can I say Uber? You're going to be Uber IGEL. But you're going to see this content first. You're going to get feedback. It's gonna again add additional value to what you can deliver to your organization, and you get bragging rights. So, really a huge thank you to Mike and to Ed Webster and to the Academy team for their help. And that kind of leaves in 2024, Renee and Seb locked me in a room and told me that if they didn't get the opportunity to take advantage of Now Next and deliver fantastic content, only two of us were going to leave that room alive. So, no, kidding aside, the community, obviously, huge part of IGEL. And we wanted to make sure that, how can we have an event about IGEL and not have community really be a big part of it? So if having Academy there is one pillar of the IGEL experience, obviously community is the other. The community stage is going to be back. It's going to be front and center. The team has done a phenomenal job putting together a lot of really great content. So again, if you're keeping track, if you're taking notes, we've got great keynotes. We've got 70 breakouts, and we also have a full run of content on the community stage. There's truly, you're going to come out, that 4 days is going to be packed, and not just packed with one thing. You'll be able to pick and choose what's going to make a phenomenal event experience for yourself across these different areas of content we're delivering. So typically on community, it's going to be more case studies. It's going to be deeper dives. It's going to be a little bit more interactive than what we can do like in a keynote. There's going to be there's probably be some surprises and some fun stuff there. If you want to participate, I recommend you reach out to Renee and Seb, let them know. But it was phenomenal. It was one of my favorite parts of the event last year, was seeing the community members there and also seeing what Renee and Sebastian did, with the event. So certainly is a chance to come out. If you remember the community, I can't say, just get a chance to see everybody, to network, to share ideas, to talk about what's going on. And let's face it, last year was a big year. This year's a big year too. A lot of stuff going on. It's a chance to get best practices from your colleagues. Look, Slack is great, and things like Zoom and Teams are great. But the reality is there's nothing that beats, being able to sit down, have a drink, and talk with like-minded members of the Agile community. So yeah, a full gamut there, and we are promoting that on the website. So again, I keep saying, if you want more details about Now Next, visit the website. We're perpetually updating it as we get new content, as we get the different breakouts and the like. So visit it, bookmark it, because we will be continuing to update it probably all the way up to the event if it goes like years previous. There's always new stuff that comes up, as we get closer to the event. I mentioned before there's a community discount. I got to be careful. Klaus Osterman's lurking outside my office. Klaus and I had a very interesting discussion about discounting. I'll share a lot because we are a community. We're all friends. Klaus feels like, at $450, it's already a phenomenal value. So he said to me, Carl, why do we discount further? But I like to discount a little bit. I like to give a little something back to those that jump on, that want to participate. So we are offering a code. It's NN25 IGELCOM with 2 M's. And that'll take your ticket price down from $450 to $199. So, certainly use that code. And also, as a special offer, from the IGEL community folks, from Sebastian and Renee. If you're going to be a speaker on the stage, we're going to give you a free ticket. So certainly, I don't want the price of the ticket to dissuade anyone from attending. I don't think it does, but in the event that it makes you feel good, or it can help you convince the powers that be to come out, that you got a free ticket. Talk to Renee. He can hook you up. You can reach out to me as well, but trust me, Renee's as dialed in as I am on that. But and if you buy a ticket, again, the tickets are $199 using the code NN25 IGELCOM with 2 N's. Okay, and I mentioned the party, so this is an interesting thing. So we are going to have a Grammy award-winning performer, Shaggy, Mr. Bombastic himself, or perhaps better known for It Wasn't Me. I don't know. We can debate which of his songs really resonated the most with the target audience. He will be performing at Live Nightclub. And while Shaggy's name is big and bold on this slide, I'll say Live Nightclub is also, if you are from the South Florida, Miami area, Live Nightclub is the nightclub. We rent it out for the night. Don't ask me what it costs, but I'll tell you, a lot. And it's going to be a private party. Shaggy will be performing. It's an incredible nightclub. It's super, super cool. And we'll have that all night. And with Shaggy and with a DJ and with drinks and food, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a perfect way to unwind after the 3 days of intensive learning, sharing, networking. We're going to have a good time. So we did. I'm looking forward to this. We went back and forth with Shaggy. I will say this, that it is a little bit of a secret. We can't promote Shaggy. Anyone at IGEL, we cannot promote Shaggy on social. Oddly enough, again, in terms of just being fully transparent, that was the one sticking point they had was, you can book him, but you can't advertise him on social. You can put him on the website. I can talk to you guys about it in a webinar. I can email you. I can put it on a billboard even, but social media somehow was a no-go. So please, I'm sharing this with you. You can talk about it, but just don't post it up on social. But he'll be there, and you'll get to hear him live with an audience of your closest, your 1,500 closest friends, which is pretty cool. So it'll be a pretty epic evening overall, and a great way to wrap up that third night. And then we'll see this, actually. I want one final comment. I'll go back to Shaggy. Interesting enough, Shaggy came about not because I personally was a huge fan, although I do like his music quite a bit. When we did a little bit of market research, and we asked people who they like to see perform, and Shaggy was actually #1. And not just #1 among, because he's been around for a while, but I mean, young people, older people, I won't say old, but older people, he was #1. Mark Anthony was #2, but we went with the #1, so we got Shaggy. Okay, from a sponsor standpoint, this is actually sponsors in 2024. So we're still working on the sponsors 2025 slide. So what you will see that's a big difference from 2024 to 2025 is going to be the addition of all those endpoint security IGEL ready folks that came on board. So like Zscaler, like Cato Networks. We just made an announcement of Palo Alto. I don't think they've signed on yet, but it's a very good possibility they'll be there. But there's going to be a whole lot of additional sponsors to talk to, in addition to, like the folks from Omnissa, or the folks from Island, or the folks from Microsoft, and the like. So we've always had great support from our sponsors. That does not look like that is diminishing this year. And we're grateful for their participation. And also just because obviously it makes a more robust event, right? So it's not just about IGEL, but you're going to walk away with content from us, and also content from our sponsors. Okay, so that is my story. I'm sticking to it. If you want to learn more, visit igel.com/nownext, and you can visit the website. But I don't see a lot in chat, so either I have been very thorough, or some people have Sev 1 tickets they're working on. Hopefully the former, not the
People are
latter.
just Super Bowl tired still.
So, so this is the part I'll open up. Does anyone have any questions, comments, any feedback? We're 6 weeks out, so if you got a genius idea, speak now, or you have to wait till 2026 to see it happen.
So we will share the recording anyway on social media as well as in the IGEL community. That's where we expecting more questions to raise up. So we would definitely forward them to you, Carl, and any suggestion that people want to make around the event, the agenda, the topics that we want to cover. drop us a note to Renee and myself, and we'll be happy to forward it to our wonderful marketing team. But from there, I would say you covered already all the topics that we had on our list. Renee, do you have something still in your mind?
I think this is a great opportunity to meet, and also, as you heard, you can learn so many things at the event. You can participate actively on the community stage. Time to shine, I would say. We have so many great other things that are not on the agenda yet. We will have at the event as surprises. A world-class location. I was there end of December. No, I just can say, if you have the chance to join this event, grab it, because this is nothing, not your general IT event. I would say this is something special, and probably nothing that you do every year or every half year. This is very special, I would say.
It is. Good. From there, I would say, Carl, thank you very much. I will stop the recording
Thank you.
here.